Hey guys, welcome to another Trade Genius podcast. Bob and Phil here. Guys, we got jobs data this morning and there's no silver lining to be found. We're going to peel back what's going on in the jobs market so you know what's coming. Let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
All right, Bob. So jobs numbers today doesn't look good. Kind of what we're expecting to see if we're going to get our blow off into recession type scenario. And the chart you picked out to start us off with, I thought was pretty telling in terms of, in historical context.
Yeah, this chart's really cool. So this chart shows you what what sectors are adding jobs or not adding jobs, and it's basically collapsing across the board, Phil. And we're really in recessionary territory here. No silver linings at all. It was a good opening, and it's not good. And if we just as soon as that crosses that threshold line, official recession, I'm still saying we're already in one. This next chart though is really, really wild. Nobody's getting hired, and everybody's afraid to quit. So that's what happens. So, when things are good, a lot of people quit, try to move around. People are getting scared now, Phil. This is a scared indicator to me. And that usually presages people not making big purchases or taking big trips. So we're going to see that down the stream here. And we already see durable good orders are collapsing. This next chart here is saying that we're back to pre-COVID environment. You said this all along, Phil, that we're going to go back and round trip this whole COVID experiment. And I think we can peek around the corner. I think we're coming back to it. And then, man, if there wasn't for the COVID pump in terms of money, we'd already been in a recession 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And all we did was delay it.
Yeah, this is what, to me, out of all the charts, we got one more to look at. But out of our charts today, this one was the most wild to me because the percentage drop is rivaling COVID. And it's hard to get a percentage drop this deep on hires month over month, right? This is your monthly percentage change. COVID, the entire country shut down. And that's why we had that percentage drop. So this is not like, oh yeah, once in a while it happens. Nah, this is like, that's a significant drop in what we saw back in, 2020? 2020, we saw that. And then we had a few blips post 2020 where we had that drop. But, these are not normal, signs of a healthy, normal market here. This is major red flags being raised here.
Yeah, and this next chart just shows you that this is the mirage that the government gives you. Private companies aren't hiring. And so the government trying to make it look like things are all good on the JOLTS front, right? And they're throwing all these job openings up there. What they don't know is that if Trump gets in, those job openings are going to disappear completely because he's going to actually fire a lot of civil servants too. So I just think, Phil, there's nothing good in this report at all. We're slip sliding away. You showed McDonald's yesterday when the bellwether fast food, cheapest food out there company can't get people to buy their product. People are hurting for certain.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's going to get a lot worse. Hey everybody, it's Bob with Trade Genius. Usually I do fun ads. I talk about our service, but I want to be serious with you for a second. We've been helping a lot of people trading for a long time. As you can see here, I want to let them do the talking for me for a change. But most importantly, we want to help you too. If you have not joined our service yet, come check us out, tradelikeagenius.com. Full service. We have chat room. We have the algorithms for you. We give trades out every day. We educate you. So go to tradelikeagenius.com. Check us out. What you get out of our service is much, much more than what you put into it. And we'd like to see you in the room. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, and these government jobs could be a lot of part-time government jobs too. It just really skews the job numbers. And that's why that household survey we showed yesterday too with the McDonald's data was so telling. There's such a huge divergence, right? From the data that we get weekly from the government ADP numbers versus what people are really saying when they're being, served. That's why they call the household survey. They go to homes and they ask people like, what's your situation? And they only count one job per person versus 3 jobs if you're holding multiple part-time jobs, things like that. So it doesn't look good. The consumer is definitely getting pinched. And these are all the things that we see pre-recession. You get a dislocation in the market, the consumer is dying, job market starts to roll over. Now we're not, in terms of like really where the institutional money starts to turn, we're not there yet. And that's the key thing to understand. It's like, well, how can, if retail numbers suck and if the job market sucks, then how is the market being propped up? Well, you still have to understand there's a lot of capital sloshing around in the system, and you're going to have seasonality effects going into the election, and they're not really going to pay attention much to these numbers just yet, but it's coming and it will matter. There's just a little bit of a disconnect. There's just a specific market dynamic that happens when you get into a recession. A lot of times you hear us say, buy the rumor, sell the news. The news is going to be the rate hike, or the rate cut, excuse me. So buying, you could see a move up into that. It generates a great place to exit the market for the bigger money. They can profit from that drop at those higher levels, hiding out in things like TLT and other bond related type investments, and ride out the storm over the next couple of years.
Yeah, look. This July report's not going to be a cut. I'd be shocked.
I would be too
if there's a cut. But they're gonna all but say there's a cut in September. Yep. And the big money is going to sell into any bump in that. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's really weird is NVIDIA really had a $10 dump today. I think it's trying to come back a little bit, filled one of the gaps. So if NVIDIA can't get its groove on, it's going to be tough for that blow off top to make a new high. But there's still plenty of room for it to blow up here in between the high and where it is now. And guys, I would be taking advantage of that, any lift you get in the market to get defensive. I said, once this thing goes, it's going to go.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking, because I think we all agree we're going to get a bounce, right? To some degree. The question is, do we make a lower high, or do we go and gun for new highs? So one thing the market likes to do is it likes to go up. If it's going to be a lower high, it loves to go probe the area between the 618 fib retracement and the 786 fib retracement. So that's like your zone, right? It's a deep retracement, meaning that it's going to try to retrace almost 80% back up of this high from this move, from the highest to the lowest, and we'll show a chart later in the week on that. That's kind of the zone. If we're going to do a lower high, that's usually the prime territory for that. Otherwise, if it blows through that, then we may have a new high and a higher blow off scenario. So those, I think it comes down to a simple rule like that. See if that bearish zone holds price down and you get a lower high. That would be extremely bearish, by the way, and that means the recession's probably taking hold. And if that does hold, Bob, I think you're going to see the TLT SPX trade start to turn. That's the one thing we haven't seen yet, right? And if not, then we go and make new highs, and we're going to have one final hurrah in this market.
I agree. And tomorrow's Fed meeting announcement, we're going to try to do it live if we can. So turn the notification bell on, because we'll throw it out there. So these are usually pretty fun. Phil's on the mic, does a master class on a price action. So come and join us and enjoy it. We'll be live chatting. I'll provide the color commentary while Phil provides the market data. So with that, guys, catch you tomorrow, and we'll see what the Fed does.
Trade Genius.